So anyway, I'm a microbiologist, not an anatomy and physiologist. But once upon a time, I wanted to be a nutritionist, and so I at least have a tropism, to use that word again, for nutrition. And so what the digestive system logically leads to is consideration of, in fact, the nutrients that the digestive system is responsible for digesting and absorbing, and the roles that those nutrients play in our health or disease, and of course the fact that these nutrients, by definition, come from our diets. And so as a consequence, we can affect the healthfulness of our bodies in terms of what we eat. This little essay up here I wrote it basically because, at least in the past when I was more into nutrition and being all about nutrition and all of that, people would come to me and they would ask me, how do you eat better, Steve? What do I need to do in order to eat better? And the standard answer that I would give them is, if you are sure that something is not good for you, don't eat a lot of it. I mean, I figured that made a lot of sense. And people are surprisingly, find it surprisingly difficult to follow that little rule. But one of the problems is that it's not always certain what is or isn't good for you. There's a lot of conflicting advice, like should we be eating fats, or should we be eating carbohydrates, or should we be drinking wine, or should we be abstaining, etc. So it's not always all that easy to know. And so as a consequence, really the best dietary advice one can give is that if you know something is bad for you, unambiguously is bad for you, you shouldn't be going out of your way to eat a lot of it, right, if you're trying to be good to your body. And also, it's good to just eat things in moderation, to not just base your diet on one or two kinds of things, but to eat a variety of things. And that way, at a minimum, if in fact what you are eating turns out to not be good for you, at least if you're not basing your diet solely on that thing, you won't be eating an enormous amount or enormous quantities of that thing. I'm, of course, very hopeful that yogurt, which I've been living on the past couple of weeks or months, not exclusively, but I've been eating a lot of it. I'm hopeful that yogurt is not bad for me.